Feels like yesterday when the Shell V-Power front row lockout, Johnson and Bowther on the front row back in 1988. Here we are 30 years later. Hansford inside row number 2. Bressington in there as well with Mark King. They were sort of the front runners all day yesterday. Cam Tilley carrying our onboard, highly entertaining. Bruce Williams, he'll be picking his way back through the pack from P10. And he'll be a little bit fired up. You get the feeling off the back of what happened to him yesterday. In Woodward's car, it's a Camaro. It's immaculate. Check that out. Leo Tobin's been exciting so far this weekend. Rob Burns has been laying big strips of rubber out of every corner for us. We've been appreciating that. And this big field of cars all the way back down to Jim Policina in P21. Hopefully we've got Jim who's doing double duties this weekend out on the track. So sent that car rear of field.
Jim's issue yesterday had a clutch go in that car just before they rolled out for the start of the race. So the Mocom Communications Tirana is at the back of the field. Rolling start. Yesterday's race closed the margin to 30 points between Bow and Johnson. 4th straight victory in championship race terms for Stevie J. Closes the margin down at the pointy end of the Painted Dixon Touring Car Masters Championship. From here they head up to Hidden Valley, which will be a circuit that suits the big Ford Mustang with 1.1 kilometres of front straight. So John Bow needs to make hay this morning at Winton and try and get one back on his own rival. A great little formation lining up. Rolling start, 12 laps. Johnson Bow on the front row. Some heavy hitters behind, looking for a strong performance. Amongst them, Ryan Hansford and Adam Bressington. Watch for the cars on the second row.
They're stacked up and ready. And the green flag is waving, and it's another great start from Stevie J. Can Bow hang around the outside? No is the answer. Hansford will slot back into P3. Bressington runs with him. King P5. The front fight as they were, but Tilley will go side by side with Gomasol. Car shot hard right off the curb. Gets that move made.
Cam looking down the inside of Andrew Fisher. It was critical for the Valiant to get in front of the Falcon on the opening lap because he said to me yesterday, I spent the whole race behind. The car's just got too much torque coming out of the slow corners that I can't get a good enough run without the same amount of horsepower. So he was pretty frustrated. He enjoyed the battle. Andrew Fisher was the same. Really enjoyed that scrap. Big sideways moments in that change of direction on cold tyres. Everyone trying to put the power down. That's Aaron McGill, second ever race for this car, made its debut quite literally yesterday in race 7 in the championship. Just had an off-track excursion off the back of the field. Bow is close though, trying to strike early. Hansford next, then it's Adam Bressington who said to me, well, they just were slightly too good. I thought the car was pretty decent, but they just drove away and had a pretty quiet race all on his own. Mark King, his teammate, was in the sin bin at the end of the day because the only damage in those 2 cars was the lightest of little contact between the 2 of them, the teammates, at turn 1. Not his fault, just one of those things as the field sorts themselves out, but Mark was there on the tools trying to fix the car himself. Cool to see. Just lacking a little bit of raw speed, those cars this weekend to challenge the leaders. So they're in accumulation mode, points gathering mode at the moment. Now we are missing Cameron Mason from the field as well. Car number 3 in the Shelby Mustang. That car yesterday, they had a diff pinion seal brake which dropped oil on the racetrack, but they also sheared some wheel studs at the start of the race yesterday. And then, just to make matters worse, they had an electrical problem which shut the car down. So they haven't been able to get that car fixed in time for this race.
Oh, Mark King lit up the rear tyres, replaced at the start. Maybe that's the oil that Cameron was referencing. Not quite the log jam that we saw at turn 1 yesterday. The big winner, Jim Policina on the opening lap, up a good 5 or 6 spots to P13. He started last. Cam Tilley's point of view, he was eyeing off that big red Falcon going, I've got to get him, I've got to get him, I've got to get him. He spent the whole race behind him yesterday. Couldn't do it. And we did see that car swing hard right to make sure that he covered Gomasol as well.
That's a really good shot because you could see how active Cam was looking in his rearview mirror there on the right-hand side, just checking to see where Jason Gomasol was, because the big mate Tirana was locked in behind. This is McGill, so before he even got the car turned into turn 5, it was heading off into the boonies.
The Escort of Gaia had a big knock in the right rear of it as well. The bumper was pushed way in, big chrome bumper, so you can't really miss it. I wonder if that was all related.
Running 16th at the moment. It's round about where Aaron was.
Well, no, King spun off the last corner right in front of the field. Gomasol doing a really good job to miss him. Slippery cold conditions here at Winton. That could have been worse. Got away with it. We'll have to play the waiting game. He finds half a race. Lights it up to get it back on track.
It'll be a long way down the field, so let's take a look. So it's Andrew Fisher going up the inside.
Whoa.
that's interesting. There's a telltale dent halfway up the number 85 Camaro. This will show it. So King was in trouble before he got into the corner. Had a big slide through turn 11. Andrew saw the opportunity, went up the inside. That contact unloaded the car, and the pacer had the best viewpoint of that. That actually, it started earlier, Chad, the corner before, because Mark had an enormous slide.
It's been sideways the whole race, that thing. It's been slippy in the back end. And Fisher not helping. Oh, no, it's JB, the championship leader. He's gone up in a plume of smoke, and it looks like this could be day done. Now, hopefully, it's not a motor. Hopefully, it's less terminal than that. It's not coming out of the exhaust, so that's a good start.
Perhaps power steering. The car was sliding around a lot, so it is dumping fluid, struggling with traction more so than usual in these cars, it must be said. Up through turn 9. Does he stay out, or does he go to pit lane? He stays out. Or if it was engines, he would have pitted. Yeah, it's a critical moment because Stephen Johnson was starting to reel that championship margin in, and it just takes all the pressure off the WM waste forward. So up through the infield, slows instantly.
You could even see the slick of liquid at the entrance to turn 5. It was visible, and it's on the racing line, so they'll need to be very careful with that.
And that shot
where
was
I
there.
could see it, Krause. Man.
And it was noticeable how quickly the car slowed the moment the smoke started pouring out. So there was a breakage somewhere. If it was engine, you would have expected JB to pit or shut it down and park straight away. And the guy with his level of experience certainly would have been able to do that. He's still circulating. Maybe gearbox. Broken gearbox at some point. He's just lost another spot. Back of shot there to Adam Bressington. But he is limping around. But that was a dramatic moment. The way the car, forward momentum really halted the moment that something gave way underneath the Bendigo Retro Cars, Gary O'Brien Racing, Tirana.
Oh, he's struggling to get it turned. Surely power steering. This could cost him. Now, will they potentially show that the mechanical black flag?
Well, it's not.
It may have already dropped everything it's going to drop.
Correct. It doesn't seem to be blowing any smoke or dropping any fluid at the moment.
So we'll know next time past the flag stand.
And the point system in Painted Dixon Touring Car Masters just rewards consistency. So you've got to finish every race to contend for the championship. So it's really important that he circulates and gets to the finish of this.
Still a little bit wafting at the back. Now, right of frame, that was the team talking to the officials. He goes past the flag stand, slowly losing positions. I can see from the commentary box window they are holding the meatball flag, but they haven't actually shown it to John Bowe yet. So I think they may put it back in the holster. The cue goes back on the rack and JB's free to play on, but he's limping.
And dropping down the order like a stone in a pond at the moment, down to 6th place. He's lost a spot to Bruce Williams. Jason Gomersall will be next. Andrew Fisher up into 4th place.
So this is where it let go. And I wouldn't be surprised. I think it was right on the left-hand side of the track there if there was a big oil slick off the back. Not so much oil, but power steering fluid. Still a bit wafty, but they have withdrawn any chance of them showing it, and JB trying to let the field get through. Now, Cameron, this is all a bit dramatic.
Yeah, I've been right on the spot, guys. I can tell you that Cams have given the all clear for him to stay out on track. So that's good for Bowie, but he's going to have some sore arms at the end of this one.
Look how high he can finish. This is the fight now for 6th. Karen Filofsky relieves John Bowe of P6. How far back will he fall, and how many points can he hang on to? Needs this race to go safety car free and give him the first hint of gaining some points.
It's a big moment, and it will affect the remainder of this weekend because he'll be even further back when we go racing in race 9 of the series a little bit later on this afternoon.
As it stands, Krause 6 points in the championship.
Yep.
I make it. There was 39 coming into it. Looks like 33 now, and that's a smoky end for the 57. It's pulled hard right off turn 9.
I wonder if he's spun off or just driven the car off and parked it in the infield. It's Graham Alexander. This is a brand new car to the series. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room, it says on the rear guard there. So motivational messages on the outside of his car. I like it.
JB will be hoping that doesn't bring out a Vodafone safety car. Well, that's just one to go green.
Yeah, that'll be worst case scenario because he'll then get mugged by everyone else behind him. At the moment, he's got that big margin track position further up the field. Philosophy and Gomersal have gone through. They continue their battle. They've been racing since the first race of the weekend, locked together on the racetrack.
Actually swapped spots as well. Now further back, King trying to fight his way through the field with the man we've nicknamed Brownie Burns. And Rob Burns, and he gives him a fair hip and shoulder there.
Yeah, big fend off on the outside. He looked like he was clean through, and then the car had a slide on the exit there as Mark got on the throttle, and Rob just the unwilling recipient of a Camaro in his door there. So Mark is back up to 12th place, and he spun earlier on in the race. Johnson with a clear margin, 3.5 seconds is the gap now to Ryan Hansford, who's up to second, Bressington third, and Andrew Fisher fourth. GTHO Falcon. Chaz Mostert watches on.
I think he'd go all right out there in these cars. He's a bit of a natural peddler, Chaz Mostert.
One of those annoyingly talented drivers that can drive just about anything and go well in it.
Again, his team boss has a resplendent Mustang sitting in the sheds.
They must hustle him to have a crack at some point, surely. A couple of rusty to drive.
JB has consolidated here and is now rolling in 8th and looks fairly comfortable there.
And yeah, it passed by Gomersal a lap ago, and now just looking to apply the pressure and maybe get a pass back.
Wow.
So whatever the issue is, it's taken him a few laps to drive around it, but he's learned how to drive around it. He's starting to make some forward progress again. So that puts him back up to 7th place. So the disaster that it could have been, just being mitigated at the moment from a points perspective, of course.
He's lucky that it dropped whatever it was going to drop so quickly. Had that gone on for a few more laps, well, the officials very well could have brought him in. So get away with that one. For now, as long as it doesn't get any worse, he sits P7. Johnson, the leader of the race, about to substantially close the championship picture. Here he is, the Team Johnson Mustang. And how about that for a few years' experience, rider framed Dick Johnson and Gary Rogers catching up at Winton Motor Raceway. That's just cool. To be a fly on the wall down there, Krause.
What do you reckon they're talking about? So, put this new oil pump in the car, we got a bit of extra pressure and was really good. Two guys well accustomed to working on their own race cars back in the day. Gary Rogers would be well suited to Touring Car Masters. I can see a GRM entered car of some type in this category. Dick Johnson heavily involved in Team Johnson. It's been a huge success program that was launched at the Adelaide 500 last year with Steve's wife Bree heavily involved in the branding and marketing side of it as well. Stevie's son Jet, I reckon a potential driver at some point down the road. He's karting at the moment. But cool program. The fans have really embraced it, as they have John Bowe in Touring Car Masters. And they will have an XT Falcon on the racetrack next year. If you missed the news, Marcus Sukanovic is also building on, the former V8 Ute champion. He'll have that on track, we think, at Hidden Valley in a month's time, up in the top end. So the first XT Falcon to race in Touring Car Masters. That's going to be very, very cool. A whole new era for the category. You might just have this guy looking nervously over his shoulder. New medal coming into the category, which will be cool. Not sure on a livery yet. I don't think they're going the retro option. Team Johnson's car, which will debut next year at the start of the championship, I think most certainly will. And in fact, in a recent interview, Stephen Johnson said, I don't think we'd be forgiven if we didn't front that car in any colour other than blue.
See why. Oh no, Woody Camaro of Ian Woodward going very slowly around turn 9.
Brand new car for this weekend, built out of the Queensland-based Fat As Racing team.
It's Camaro Corner at the moment.
It's been a good weekend for Chevy products. And he pulls off the adjacent side of the racetrack to where Graham Alexander is. He's on the infield. Woody's got to the outfield and can go and visit the campgrounds here at Winton. All the hardy campers that have been here all weekend long. There they are. Those two cars were actually battling for position in race 7 of the championship yesterday afternoon.
This sets up the final race of the weekend beautifully, because John Bowe will have some work to do. It won't be a front row start. And looking forward to seeing how that'll pan out. He's done well to scramble for P7 today. If he can hang in there, all important points in this championship fight between he and his old buddy Steve Johnson will surely be headed to Newcastle. 8-round championship. That's how it stands at the moment.
It's a 9-point margin. Bowe to Johnson. Cameron Tilley still in third. And that's what I said earlier about consistency being key. Tilley He's running 12th at the moment in this race, but still just accumulating points. It's so vital just to tick them over. So this 7th place, if that's where he finishes for John Bowe, at the end of the championship could be absolutely critical. Just limping that car home, getting it to the flag, getting some points, it will pay off. Might take until November to do it, but it may well pay off. Here's the mighty pacer.
Serious pace this one today.
Yeah, it's been quiet, hasn't it?
Yeah, he was with Andrew Fisher, who's now P4.
Yeah. Unseen by us, dropped down the field to 12th. Behind Leo Tobin in the Boss 302 Mustang.
Oh, he was behind King, who had a spin earlier.
Yeah, Mark's been working his way through the field. Dropped to 14th place. Mark King has passed his way back up inside the top 10. Yeah, so we didn't see what happened. See it coming.
Yeehaw, 4 speed. All the way back down to 2nd. Riding on board with Cam Tilley, who'll check in without Cam in the lane.
Yeah, guys, John Bowe's been on the radio telling the team that he doesn't know how long he's going to be able to hold on to this one. He's going to stay out there because the team did ask him to have a big cup of concrete and stay out on track as well. But no, Bowe has been on the radio saying it is extremely difficult to drive.
So, Cam, that's confirming it is power steering.
Yeah, 100% is power steering at the moment. That's why all that oil, all the smoke stopped, I should say, not oil. But no, he's been on the radio saying this is a beast to drive. So he's doing exactly as suggested, getting points and looking to November.
Harrington may also go a lap short, which could help because he's barely hanging on to it. Same with Cam Tilley. Looks like maybe part of the brake ducting hanging down on this car. I don't know if that's got anything to do with why it's faded in this race.
So cast your mind back to the WD-40 Phillip Island Super Sprint, and we saw Shane van Gisbergen without power steering, and these cars are a very similar situation to that in that they run a lot of camber on the front end. They angle the wheels in at the top, and that gives the cars really good turn and front end grip, but it makes the steering really, really heavy, especially when your power steering disappears. So I like to drive in a mid-1970s car, so without power steering, and it's really hard. Imagine going to the shopping centre and you're a hole on the wheel to get into the car park. So that's what John Bowe's got to deal with for the remaining couple of laps. And where SVG tried to go for the big nanny wheel, the massive steering wheel, we've already got one in these cars, so there's not much more leverage that JB can get.
The 2 words that John Bowe wanted to hear, he's just been delivered. Last lap.
Excellent.
So we'll go 1 short as they continue to drop off the racetrack towards the end. Good fight for 2nd, not quite done yet. Bressington versus Hansford, 2 drivers that were on the podium here 12 months ago at Winton. They can scrap for 2nd as Johnson does the job up front. Jim Policino up 12 spots in this race. Really nice drive. Double duty Jim today.
Johnson's just done his usual take the foot off in the final few laps. That margin's come down from about 5 seconds to 1.5 to Ryan Hansford. There's no threat, there's no challenge to the leader. Just makes the margin a little bit smaller for the timing sheet at the end. Big win for Stevie J. Be the 25th in his Touring Car Masters career. This one will go right to the line. Hansford under pressure from Bressington. And a nice control margin for the winner. What about the drag race, Chad?
We'll give it to the Tirana. Will we? Yes.
Yep.
P2 goes to Hansford. Good finish. Really built up towards the end. Steve Johnson cruising to the checkered flag. And another race victory closes the championship up. John Bowe finishes 7th, and that is a stirring drive. I know who drove from 19th to 1st in the trophy race, but that was just as important. Bag some points for P7, keep that championship fight alive. Better than a DNF, way better. But this is going to the last race today.
I'll put some ice on the biceps after that one, JB.
Look like Popeye.
It's the hardest fought 7th place of his fairly illustrious career. So Bowe fights his way home. Some great movers and shakers in that. Andrew Fisher will be happy with 4th. So too Bruce Williams with 5th, and the AC Delco Tirana and Tony Cade for 6th. Gomersal was 8th. Policina, as you mentioned, from the back of the field to 9th, and Mark King rounding out the top 10 after that spin early on. Cameron Tilley dropped back to 11th. Leo